Akrotiri, Cyprus, years ago. You went out and met
Yeah.
the forces.
Yeah, no, I was just remembering that actually, and it was amazing. I remember some of them had learned the dance from the Inbetweeners movie, and like they just went into it. It was really, I mean, it was done with military precision. It was. I should have known they'd be good at it. It
I
was very
can do,
good.
I can do that dance with military precision, to be fair to you. I really can.
Which
I
is
don't know
what
whether it would
outhounds
terrify an
are.
enemy, but it was very it was very impressive.
Out of everything that you did do with the forces out there, what was it? I think about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing to have done? What were you best at?
We did a thing where they showed us how to like deal with the riot. Like we had they gave us these shields and
Yeah.
they kind of were behaving like this is how you quell like urban unrest. And it was quite full on actually. Like I don't know whether I was good at it, but like it was like we had like a riot shield and they were like, this is what they'll be doing. They'll be trying to kind of jostle. And it was pretty intense. And then it was a less intense bit where I think we went out and did some kind of like what would you call it, like it's sort of inflatable stuff. Like we were like
Sounds
we're
like total
doing,
wipeout.
Yeah.
yeah, it was a bit more like Chachawa, but yeah, it was. So that was more my wheelhouse. The second bit.
I can't believe with all those newfound skills you've got and the world of unrest that we currently live in, they've never called on you to calm things down.
I know it's unbelievable that
It is.
I've not been called on. I would say I'm an obvious
Obvious choice.
choice
Number
for an
one.
overseas ambassador. I don't. They must not have my number. So I am manning the Wise Stag and Hen helpline, and people need all sorts of help. One of the things is that stag and hen do's are getting a lot more expensive. There's some research out at the moment that shows that people are spending, I can't believe this amount, £1,500 per head on stag and hen do's. This is research done by Wise, the international money app, and that is high. And uh, you want to obviously spend that money on activities that are, I mean, first of all, activities that maybe you're actually going to remember. So
Yeah,
maybe a bit
well,
less emphasis on. I mean, look, nothing wrong with drinking, but just heavy drinking and debauchery doesn't have to be the order of the day. So suggestions for kind of European cities to visit, more sort of cultural activities to engage in, and that kind of thing. But really, just anything. I mean, people can ask me. They can ask me whatever they want, whatever they think I'm qualified to talk to them about. Which I'll leave that with them.
Well, look, Joe, if you don't mind me asking, I saw that you're engaged. I'm sorry I haven't seen whether you're married yet, but have you had your stag do? Is,
No, I
is
haven't
that?
had my stag do. Yeah,
Ah,
no. So I mean, I've organised stag do's and I've been on stag do's, but I haven't yet had mine. I sort of feel like I've had mine because I went on Simon Bird's stag do. Simon Bird plays Will in the Inbetweeners, and uh, it was as though it was my stag do because we were on a river. I will just say this, we were punting down a river because that's the sort of people we are.
yeah.
And a guy who I didn't know boarded my boat. He was a bit drunk and he was highly excited and he hugged me and then jumped both of us into the river. And I was under the water in this bear hug with this stranger. And I remember thinking, what's going to happen now? Because he wasn't releasing me. And eventually he released me. We popped up and there was a small bridge over the river and all the people on the bridge were filming us on their mobile phones. And what annoyed me was this wasn't my stag do. This was Simon Bird's stag do. So it seemed as though I was there as some kind of whipping boy, essentially, to be punished so that he didn't have to. So I mean, that was why I was invited on that stag do. It turns
did your
out.
military training not kick in that
I
moment, or
hadn't
was it?
had it yet. I hadn't
Oh
had it, but
no!
if only I had. Yeah, I could have done some. No, I hadn't worked with the Marines at that point. But if I could, I could have. I could have. I don't know what would presumably like subdued the attacker and then probably establish some sort of base camp on the bank of the river to spend the night in. But I didn't. Yeah, I was untrained, and you know, that was the thing. I wasn't ready to be boarded at that moment.
That's going to be on your headstone.
Yeah,
that's a quote to be remembered by.
It's a good quote to be remembered by.
It's a good mantra to live by. I'm never ready to be boarded.
Ready to be boarded. No,
no,
please ask before you board.
Is there any scenario in your life that doesn't mirror one that you have acted out in the Inbetweeners? Because you obviously, you know, in the harbour, you got thrown in and then you had to stand and then it tried to cuddle you to keep you warm. Is there anything in your life that happens on a daily basis that doesn't make you think of something that you've done in character?
I mean, really, just all of the boring stuff isn't like the character, but pretty much every embarrassing experience I've had in my life has just been put into the show. So it is amazing how often like reality is mirrored in that show. But I think, you know, what I'm hoping is that, you know, as I become, you know, maturer, that my life resembles the show less. And I suppose one of the points of doing the helpline is to help people have, you know, a stag or a hen that isn't quite so sort of in-betweeners based, and maybe have something that's just got a bit more dignity about it. That's sort of what I'm hoping to push.
And if people did want to get in touch, because you actually man this yourself for certain times.
I am. You will speak to me.
If people did want to do that, speak to you and get your advice on a forthcoming stag or hen do that hopefully would be cheaper than £1,200 to £1,500 a head, what should they do?
They can call me, and the number is 0800 69 90 002. There's also a website, wise.com/stag hen helpline. And I would encourage them to ring up with literally whatever questions they have.